Is this new Ark remake worth your money? Let's find out. So I'm doing this video to clear up the question whether this game is worth $60 by the sequel, and long story short, my answer is no. It's not worth it. I'm going to be going through the yeses and nos as to why this could be worth it, but so far I've only been able to find out a lot of no's and barely any yeses, so let's kind of break it down. Alright, so we'll go to the yeses first because there's a lot less of those. There is a great graphics overhaul which does revamp the game's looks on the new Unreal Engine 5, a couple new building and structures and revamped placing of builds, some extra quality of life features, and 4 new creatures as well, which are pretty unique. So yeah, that's probably the only reasons that it would actually be worth it, just to get the new graphics overhaul. But it would be worth it as long as Ark 2 isn't coming out, and that's kind of a big reason. When Ark 2 does come out, it will just be another survival game, and the Ark devs will shift their focus over towards that, I feel, unless they're like solely focused on making it like a story driven game. They would not call it Ark 2 anyway, they would just call it something else. They're using the Ark title because it's probably going to be a survival game, and they have stopped updating Ark Survival Evolved now that they released Ascended, and they'll just do the same thing in the next year with the second game. So I don't really see the point in paying $60 to play for a couple of months and then it just not be updated anymore. Unless the Ark 2 is really bad and no one wants to play that, and they still update Ark Survival Ascended, then yeah, it could actually be worth it. But in terms of the features that it has right now, it's just not there at all. It also adds very little compared to the previous game, so I don't really know how you could call it a sequel besides just doing a big graphics overhaul. Like, it almost just feels like an update. Like, it's the same with Overwatch and Counter-Strike 2. They're the same game, it's just like revamping the look of it. It doesn't really change much of how it works, if I'm being honest. And there's just not enough value for money. Like, paying $60 for something just for better graphics, like, it's a bit much, I reckon. Ark 2 could just render it useless as well in the next year, so it would actually be good if they kept rolling out updates every couple of weeks and they weren't bringing out an Ark 2, but I reckon Ark 2 could actually kill this game, to be honest. $60 or $70 would be okay if it was a groundbreaking new game that got lots of updates all of the time and there was no sequel coming out to it really soon. Then I would actually consider paying for it, but at this point it's just not worth it. You might as well play Ark Survival Evolved and wait for the new game. Or if you really have like a lot of money, then I guess you can buy it just to play it, but it wouldn't be that worth it, to be honest. As a perspective for the creatures, there's only 4 new creatures, which is less than the original $20 DLCs they released new maps, creatures and items with. Like, it's for the Genesis DLC, Aberration, Extinction, Genesis 2, Scorched Earth. They added so many new creatures for like $15 to $20, a new map and items as well. Whereas this, you're paying $60 for 4 new creatures and a couple of new structures, which the old DLCs add anyway. Like, it's not enough value for money, and there's multiple things like supporting that. This also does not have any other maps. It's strictly stuck to the island with better graphics right now. You're literally paying $60 for a game that has a lot less than the original. I would not consider this. And that's my reasoning as to why it's just not worth buying this game. You might as well wait for the second Ark, see what that's about, and if it's not good, then maybe buy the game. If they put the price down and they're consistent with updates. But if they don't do that, I reckon this thing could actually really die. But I reckon it could be the end of the Ark franchise if they don't fix this. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for hearing my thoughts. See you in the next video.
You're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight. Don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase. So catch me if I fall.